So Blue Dog Keys is out with a brand new key assortment for, let's call it off-brand UTVs, ATVs, scooters, just kind of small cycles, just kind of like all of it in one, in a way. And there's a lot of them out there, and it can be very confusing if you don't even know where to start. So let's dive in, let's look at them, and of course, have a little bit of fun and maybe learn something. All right, so in the world of locks and keys today, when it comes to UTVs, ATVs, that sort of thing, bikes, there's just a ton of new different random brands that are out there, stuff being imported, all of the above really. And if you haven't noticed, you will, that a lot of the keys that they're using are not kind of like your standard, I don't know, let's call it HD 75 or HD 63 type of key. They're different, and some of them are like really long, and there's a lot to it. And Blue Dog put together a key assortment to really help you have what you need and kind of get a grip on what's going out there in the key blank market when it comes to these type of products. So without further ado, let's hop in. Let's go over these 16 keys and let's see what you think. Now, a lot of times, when a key's made, it says it works for, let's say, maybe it's a Suzuki, or it's like a Yamaha, or this and that. And a lot of times, like, it's true, right? That was the original intent for the use of it. But from there, it can kind of like shift in like all sorts of the different copies. There's all sorts of different things that are along with that. So what I'm gonna do is I'll probably throw in a few different brands maybe that it does work for, but at the same time, even though it may be a Yamaha key, what it will work for when you encounter it may not be an actual, Yamaha. So I just wanna preface that real quick, but let's go ahead and dive into them here. Now, the first one up is the BAJ-1P. Now, this would be a dirt bike key, and after that, it's going to be the BAJ-3P. This is also going to be probably found in a dirt bike. At the same time, though, as you can see, the BAJ-3P is a high security style, laser key. Right, next is the BD-1018. Now, this is essentially a Yamaha key, but of course, like I was saying, you'll find it working for other things as well. Next is the BD-1019. If you haven't noticed the theme so far, there's so many interesting heads on these, isn't there? All right, next up is a Suzuki key, a OEM Suzuki key. It's the BD-1053. Next is the BD-1063. Now, this is a OEM Kawasaki style key. Not only is it high security, but it can work for many other things. All right, here we have it's a KTM key. It's the KTM-1P. All right, now these next two keys are actually, I've covered before, are actually really popular. They fit a large amount of things. I wouldn't be surprised if these are already in your inventory. If they're not, I highly consider that you add them. And that is gonna be the KYM-1P and the KYM-1RP. Now, these are reverse of each other. They're really popular. And I don't know, maybe the best way, in my head, I've always kind of referred to these as kind of like the HD 75 and the HD 63 long version almost. But anyways, I don't want to confuse you necessarily with that. But yeah, very popular keys. Make sure you have those around. All right, next up after that is going to be the KYM-2R. All right, next up is the PGO-1, and then also a PGO-2.P. All right, then next up is the ZD-21P. Now, this is probably out of all of them here so far, like the most standard kind of looking, kind of typical key that you might expect. All right, so next up we have the BD-1064. Now, this key is going to work with Cub Cadet and then also some other imported UTVs. And then there's the KYM-2P. Now, this works for Kymco scooters as well as a whole bunch of other ones because I don't know if you know, kind of similar to Cub Cadet in a lot of ways, but Kymco makes a lot of things, well, really, I guess in this case, locks and keys for a lot of other manufacturers. And then last but not least, I wanted to save maybe one of my favorite keys for last here, which is the TMC1, aka X2 270. Now, once again with this key, I want to save it for last. I mean, it is a very, very popular key. If you're currently not also stocking this one, I mean, definitely do it. All right, so there you have it. That is the 16 keys found in Blue Dog's scooter key assortment, also known as all those weird looking keys you don't really know where to find. Now, the good news is a few things. We're stocking all 16 of them, and all of them are loaded in Identikey as well. So if you're using Identikey, you can snap some photos, find the key, and really get it done. But of course, I really want to know what you think in the comments below. Have you ever seen any of these keys really out in the wild, so to speak, but you don't really know what they were, if they were available? I would love to know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Hey, congratulations, you've made it to the end of the video. You probably deserve a medal, maybe a plaque, but hey, I wanna make sure that when you're commenting that you're including the hashtag Lockboss. When you do, you automatically get entered in to win one of 5 free prizes we're giving away each week here live on YouTube on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. We'll see you in the comments.